Hello.
Beep, 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 beep. Morning, good peeps. How are we? Right, what we got for you today? Well, today we have puberty blocker trial vital after clinic buried study, says Cass. This is an interesting one by Ben Spencer in the Times. The links, as usual, are in the Dubras. If you can afford to buy me a coffee or help me out in any way, please do. If you want to become a warrior teacher, starting next year at some point, please do fill out the contact form and I'll have a chat with you. Now, here. It's all going on here. Let's put a bit of light on the subject. There we are. The author of a landmark report on the disgraced Tavistock Gender Service says it suppressed evidence about the drugs. This is particularly interesting, right? A new trial of puberty blockers might not have been needed if the disgraced Tavistock Gender Clinic had not buried results of its own study a decade ago, Baroness Cass has said. The paediatrician, the author of a highly critical government report on NHS gender services that led to the closure of the Gender Identity Development Service, that was called GIDS, if you remember at the time, at the Tavistock in North London, said a rigorous trial was needed to finally establish the truth over puberty blockers. Here's where we have a problem, right? A rigorous trial was needed to finally establish the truth over puberty blockers. We do not need a trial to tell us that gender identity, trans, and everything that comes with it is a big, fat lie from beginning to end, from its toes to the tip of its head. It is a lie. From the history of it, right back to the 30s, right up to now, it is an absolute lie across the board. The problem with this, from this point of view, when that's said, a rigorous trial is needed to finally establish the truth of. We don't need a trial. You don't need a degree to know this is morally wrong. You don't need to be the head of the NHS to know this is morally wrong. You don't need to be Dr. Cass to know this is morally wrong. You don't need anything to tell you that this is a horrific reoccurrence of something we've seen before. Under no circumstances should this trial go ahead. But those of you that are hoping that Wes Streeting is going to help, I think are living in cloud cuckoo land. Absolute cloud cuckoo land. He's a believer, I think. The announcement this month of the 10.7 million pathway trial has been met with fury by gender-critical campaigners. Kemi Badenoch herself, the Conservative leader, has described it as an activist ideology masquerading as research. That's exactly what it is. They're paddling in the same pool together when we should be draining the pool. But Cass, whose reports criticised the remarkably weak evidence over whether puberty blockers could ease gender-related distress and recommended they be banned outside a clinical trial, insisted the pathway study was needed. I know why you're doing that, Hilary. We'll come to that. She said desperate families continue to get the drugs from unregulated foreign sources. Some are arriving at NHS gender services, having already started courses of puberty blockers, despite the fact their prescription in the UK is now illegal. What they are attempting to do, just the last bit there, Cass said only a trial would put the issue to bed by establishing whether the drugs are effective. If evidence is found that they do not help children, it would stem demand, she said. They're trying to manage a criminal problem with a medical body, which is the NHS. That's what they're trying to do. This is a criminal problem. This is the problem of people who are willing to hurt their children, of people who are willing to put children on this nonsense. This is a criminal problem. And the problem is the government, this particular government, doesn't want to bite the bullet. I doubt very much any government would want to bite the bullet, but somebody needs to. We need a statement from the Prime Minister. Trans is a lie from its tip to its top. That's it. There will be no puberty blockers, and we're going to criminalise the giving of puberty blocking drugs to children of any kind, along with hormones. How about that? It continues. Cass says, we now have a population of many children and young people and their families who have a strong belief. If they're young people, they don't need puberty blockers because they've gone through puberty. You mean just children. Let's keep the children because that's what this is about. Who have a strong belief that puberty blockers are going to be beneficial to them in a variety of ways, she said. The big risk is that children and young people will continue to go on to unregulated providers and get their treatment for abroad. Yeah, that's a criminal matter, Hilary. It's a criminal matter. We need to get this out of the hands of the medical establishment and we need to put it firmly in the hands of the police. It needs to be a criminal matter in my mind. That's what I think should happen. She said demand for puberty blockers had started rising when the GIDS team, along with paediatricians at University College Hospital London, who worked with them, failed to publish the results of a study into the drug that found no benefit. They didn't need to publish the results. We've got it from the 1970s right up to now. It's all there for the taking. We know what a horror show this is. It's all bit. Gender identity is a lie. It's a lie. It doesn't exist. Many of us are responsible for the fact that it's a lie. The fact the lie is being told. Everybody's bloody responsible for that. We've all taken our eye off the ball on that one. But it's a lie. And that's what we should be treating it as. You imagine if somebody said, right, we're going to help to stop a lie being a lie, or to show that a lie is a lie by medically experimenting on children. That's what we're going to do. All right, okay. Who decided that was a good idea? That's what we're going to do. She also criticised the team for seeking ethical approval from more than one scientific board when at first they did not receive the go-ahead for their study. Just, they say no, we'll go over here instead and try over here, because they might say yes. This is criminal. We wouldn't want to be starting from here, she said about the Pathways trial. It is very unfortunate that in 2011 they didn't do a controlled trial, because it would have been much easier to conduct at that time when there wasn't the belief and the expectations that we have now. There are far too many people that believe this bullshit for us to be able to enforce it as a crime. I don't think it is. I think we need to do it. We need to make the public have a conversation. And that conversation will take place when we start persecuting the people that push it, i.e., by arresting them, by making it a crime, by making it criminal. And let's deal with it that way. It is time to criminalize transing children. They've done it, but we can't have a puberty blocker prescription. I'm saying if you give a child hormones or puberty blockers, that should be a crime in itself, regardless of who you are. And yes, we will have to bite the bullet, and some people will pay the price, and it will probably get ugly. How else do you think we're going to stop this? We've done nicey. We're stuck in a permanent round of court cases. Oh, it's going to be legally this. Now we've got a precedent for that. You don't need a precedent. We know this is morally wrong. It's morally wrong. It's tearing apart families. It's tearing apart people. It's infected our schools. It's infected our universities. It's infected everything that we know. It's time for some very, very strong leadership on this. And in my mind, that strong leadership should include criminalization of giving puberty blockers, hormones to children, or of socially transitioning them, allowing the use of binders and everything else that comes with it. We wouldn't bind people's feet anymore. This is utterly barbaric on every level. It's on the lines of the Skopsky, the Skopsky were the Russian ones, took all their bits off in the name of some god they believe because they weren't gendered. It's absolute rubbish. This is by the way, this article, it's a share token, I think they call it, don't they? I'm going. I've still got me stinking cold and it's bloody horrible. I'll see you later, all right? You have a great day. I intend to do exactly the same thing. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.